Hello, sophomores. You're almost done. That's kind of nice. So I'm going to recap the reading from last week that you should have read, sort of, the main parts. And then you only have a few chapters to finish the novel this week if you've been keeping up with it. Good job. The vocabulary is due, I think, Wednesday or Thursday after you finish reading the novel. And you really should try to watch the movie. It's really good, even though it's old and in black and white. It's a great movie, and you'll like Boo Radley in it. We are going to release the final two, which is going to be an essay on Wednesday. All the 10th grade teachers are basically doing the same thing. It should be pretty easy. You just have to write about who your favorite character is and why, using at least three specific examples from the textbook. And the more details you can give, the better grade you'll get. And I think we decided on 50 points for that. So make sure you finish strong. Okay. And then there's that character tracking sheet that I gave you at the beginning of the novel. That's also worth points. Not sure if we're going to give you the quiz we had planned because the days got kind of altered on us. You know, we lost those 2 days for the in-service and etc. Anyway, so look for on Wednesday your quiz, your final will be released, and you'll have some time to get it done. But once you finish, you're done with the class. Yahoo! All right, so you were supposed to read chapters 22 through 27. The kids are growing up a little bit. So 22, Jem, this is the aftermath of the trial. So after Tom was found guilty, even though he wasn't guilty of rape, the whole town knows it. But at least Atticus put it out there, and it did take a little bit of time for the jury to decide on the verdict. Jem's super disappointed, and people can't blame him, and society. He just can't believe that this sham happened and that Tom got put in jail. Atticus tries to make him feel better by telling him about how juries work and that he's going to try to appeal, and Tom could have his trial in a different venue, a different place outside of Macomb County. And then that chapter ended with Bob Ewell is ticked off. Man, he is one of those guys that just is angry. And he knows that Atticus exposed his whole family in the courtroom, and that they all know that he probably sexually and physically abuses his kids, which is a little embarrassing, I would say. And that he's dumb. He didn't sound very smart at the trial. So he actually threatens Atticus and spits in his face on the street. And the kids are really worried. Atticus, being the nice person he is, just thinks that Bob needed to get it out of his system. He's very passive about it. He just wipes the spit off and walks away, thinking that's going to be the end of it. But there's a little foreshadowing because somebody overheard Bob Ewell saying, 1 down, 2 to go, after we find out that Tom gets killed. So Tom tries to escape prison and gets shot. So that's really devastating for everyone, especially his wife Helen, because Atticus has to go and tell her what happened to her husband as soon as she realizes it. Look, my glasses are so crooked. She collapses and is super sad. Let's see, I'm going through 28. Chapter 24, you get an inside scoop into the ladies of Macomb County and how hypocritical they are. They have this missionary circle group that meets in Atticus's house with Aunt Alexandra, and Calpurnia is there, and all the ladies talk about how they're helping other people and helping the missionaries, and how they're such good Christians, but yet they also are super prejudiced and racist and still frown upon Atticus for representing a black man in the trial. And Scout's trying to get it. She's starting to see how people are. Chapter 25. Oh, that's when Atticus goes and tells Helen about her husband. That's super sad. And then chapter 26, it's the fall, so school's starting again. Hopefully just like ours will start. Yeah, it needs to, right? And let's see. Jem's in 7th grade and Scout's in 3rd grade. So they've grown up quite a bit. Scout's not quite as terrified of Boo Radley anymore. And Jem's really into football. He's the water boy for the football team. And then in Scout's class, her teacher's name is Miss Gates. And Miss Gates talks all about democracy and how everybody is equal here in the United States. And Scout's like, really? Are you sure? Chapter 27, we find out that Bob Ewell is still mad, still angry. He threatens Helen, which is Tom Robinson's widow. He follows her down the street and says crappy things to her until Link D's her boss, and also the boss of that was Tom's boss too, tells Yule he better knock it off or else. We get the idea. He might take matters into his own hands. And then you meet these old ladies who are deaf. They're sisters. Their nicknames are Tootie and Fruity. And the kids in the neighborhood on Halloween pulled a prank of taking all their furniture from the living room and putting it in their cellar. And so they thought that someone stole it from them and that it must be somewhere in town. They bring the hounds out to find it, but of course it's in the cellar. So it was there the whole time. So the town decides to put on a Halloween pageant at the school, like we have here, carnivals. There's going to be a play, and Scout's going to be a ham in the play because it's supposed to be a play about produce and things that Macomb County produces. Scout's going to be performing, and then that chapter 27 ends with a cliffhanger. It says she and Jem are on their way to school to the play, and it was their longest journey together. So you're going to find out why Jem has a broken arm from the very beginning of chapter 1, finally. I hope you're doing okay, you guys. Don't stop reading, get your work done. You're almost to summer, and hopefully things will be open and we can do things. And yeah, because it's crazy. Email me, or we could do a Google Hangout if you want to. Just let me know, okay? If you have any questions. All right, bye.